In today's video, we are going to talk about lights. Anyone working in the automotive industry will tell you having lights is a must. And even though my top choices are Stylus Pro LED pen light because it is very compact, you barely notice it in your pocket, and yet it puts out 100 lumens, which is a lot for a flashlight of this size. And my second most favorite option is the Saber made by ATD, because it fits under the hood, puts out up to 2000 lumens, can run off of a battery, but also has a 25-foot long cord. But there is a time when you need something in between these two. See, the pen has to be held with one hand, which really limits what you can do with it. And the Saber provides general lighting and only under the hood. So if you need to light up something specific or work elsewhere, like under the dash or under the vehicle, you are out of luck. And this is why we have the blade type lights. And today our contestants are Streamlight Stinger Switchblade and Astro 52SL. Streamlight is a well-known brand that has been around since 1973, I believe, and they deliver good quality products. In fact, Stylus Pro is also made by Streamlight, and I am extremely satisfied with it. Comparing to what's available on the market today, it is definitely top of the line brand. On the other hand, we have Astro Pneumatic tools, company that's been around for over 40 years and working with name brand distributors like Snap-on and Cornwell. So let's go ahead and compare the two lights to see how they match up. The very first thing we notice is that the Stinger is significantly larger than Astro, but if we compare the light itself, they are about the same. Stinger has an overall length of 17 inches and right under 10 inches when folded. Being able to fold gives the Stinger a little advantage in this comparison. It is more compact if you have to take it around a lot, yet it can reach further when unfolded because of the longer handle. Astro, on the other hand, is a little over 14 inches and can bend 90 degrees in either direction, which makes it more versatile, but it doesn't fold. So even though it's a smaller size device, it is a bit bulkier if you want to put it in a bag, for example. Astro weighs 330 grams and Stinger weighs a whopping 522 grams, which gives it a more solid, sturdy feel. Both lights have a hang hook. On Stinger it is metal, while Astro's is plastic, which is fine since it is a lighter device. Stinger also has a longer foot to stand on for stability, with a lip on the end for secondary hook option. Astro, on the other hand, has a side magnet. Both lights have a magnet on the bottom. Stinger, being the heavier light, has a stronger magnet. Astro, on the other hand, is lighter and therefore doesn't need as strong of a magnet, which makes the two very comparable on how well they stick to metal surfaces. And let's face it, magnet is the weakest spot of any blade style light. It is such a small surface for so much leverage, but if I had to pick one, Stinger probably sits a little firmer. Stinger has 3 different lights in one. First is Cool White LED for bright white light, puts out 800 lumens. The second, on the other side, we have a 90 CRI LED that puts out 600 lumens. CRI stands for Color Rendering Index. It is a measurement of how colors look under the light source in comparison with natural sunlight. 100 CRI is considered identical to natural sunlight, so 90 CRI is considered high. Fancy feature, but the fact that you can't unfold the light more than 180 degrees really limits its application because you have to turn the light around and use the other side sometimes. Third light is UV light for detecting leaks when you're using a special dye, like in the air conditioning system, for example. Astro, on the other hand, has only 2 lights. First is a flashlight, puts out 150 lumens, and second is a regular side light that puts out 500 lumens on one side. And you can also turn on both sides, putting out a total of 1000 lumens. Just have to angle it right to not get blinded. Astro also has a dimming function. In case you don't need or want the light to be so bright all the time, you can dim it down, whereas the Stinger shines full blast at all times. And I really like that Astro shows how much charge you have left, and when it starts to die, the indicator will flash 1 bar. Whereas Stinger has no charge indicator, it just eventually dies. So if you need to grab it with you on a mobile service run or whatnot, you better make sure you're pulling it right off the charger. Stinger also claims to be water resistant, whereas Astro does not make such claims. However, it does say it is oil and chemical resistant. Even though on paper Stinger is brighter with batteries fully charged, they shine about the same. Astro does seem to have some yellowish tint to it, while Stinger is very white. And even the CRI LED having a warmer, yellower color is not as yellow as Astro. Now let's take these lights to the shop and see them at work. Stinger, being the longer light, reaches further, providing better overall underhood lighting than its competitor. Here is how they look side by side. Another thing I noticed, Stinger runs around 10 degrees cooler than Astro, which is important to note because Stinger puts out more lumens and yet it runs cooler, which means it's not working as hard, it is more efficient and will probably last longer in the long run, which shows in the warranty. Streamlight provides a limited lifetime, while Astro's is only a 1-year limited. Now, when it comes to runtime, Stinger lasts about half an hour longer, which is no surprise, it has a bigger battery. On the downside, it takes significantly longer to charge. When both lights finally died, I plugged the chargers directly into the light without using charging stations, and Astro was fully charged in just 4 hours, while Stinger needed a whopping 7 to finally start blinking. Now let's talk about the charging stations. Stinger comes with a charging station that requires to be installed with 2 screws, and I'll be honest, I hated everything about it. I don't really want to put any holes in my walls, but most importantly, the light doesn't fit into it very well. You almost have to fight it to get it in and out, whereas Astro has a magnetic charging station that will stick to your box or anything metal without any screws. But most importantly, it charges wirelessly. Yes, just throw your light on it and go. I keep it on there all the time because it is so easy to attach and it can charge 2 lights at the same time. So if you buy a second light, you already have a perfect place for it. So, to conclude, the 2 lights are very close in overall performance, with Stinger having the upper hand in size, light options, and reliability. This is a very well thought out unit that will last a long time. So if you need a light to use professionally, you use it all the time, I would say Stinger is like a more professional grade type of light. Whereas Astro is a middleweight contender. It has a smaller battery, less lumens, less light options. It's cheaper too. And yet it puts out a very competitive amount of light and runs almost just as long, but where it really takes off is faster and more convenient charging, has a charge indicator, 180-degree swivel, double light option, and dimming lights. If I had to choose one, I would choose Astro because of its convenience. I don't feel like I need that extra longevity and sturdiness of the Stinger since I use my other lights more often anyway. I have a black light, I don't really feel like I need the CRI LED, and I really hated the charging station on the Stinger. A lot of guys already have one installed because they have other Streamlight products, so it wouldn't be a big deal for them. But for me, wireless charging won this battle. I felt like a kid in a toy store. Like, this is cool, this is the future. Now, what both lights are missing, I really wish they had, is being able to rotate the light. That would be a nice feature. And for Stinger in particular, an ability to flip the light 180 degrees would eliminate the need to unfold it any further, because all 3 lights would be equally accessible at any angle. They also could move the on-off button to the other side, but that's not a deal breaker for me. So this is my quick rundown on the 2 lights. I try to stay neutral, unbiased, and transparent about both. Links to them will be in the description if you decide to buy one. Comment which one and why. Share your feedback. What do you think is the best light? Maybe there is some light out there I don't know of that will blow both of these out of the water. And on this note, thank you for watching, good luck, and take care.